Hello, Duke fans. Welcome into the Duke Blue Devils Insider Podcast, your daily podcast for all things Duke Blue Devils news. Just like every day, we thank you so much for tuning into the show today to get your latest on the Duke Blue Devils. My name is Hugh Strain, your daily host, as well as beat writer at Duke Blue Devils on SI. Happy to chat with you guys today, as well as every single day about the Blue Devils. If you are checking us out on YouTube, make sure to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you never miss when an episode comes out. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, or any other audio source, make sure to give us a rating to check out our show every single day. We appreciate you guys tuning in, and make sure to check us out at si.com/college/Duke every single day. This is our show for Wednesday, June 24th, 2026. NBA draft kicks off tonight. This pod is being recorded before the NBA draft, but two former Blue Devils are expected to go in the first round. 2026 National Player of the Year Cameron Boozer, in all likelihood, will be the number 3 overall pick in the 2026 draft to the Memphis Grizzlies, and Isaiah Evans will be a later pick in that first round. Based on a bunch of mocks, could be anywhere from that 20 to 30 range. It seems like I project him to go number 25 overall to the Los Angeles Lakers, but again, a lot of volatility in Isaiah Evans' draft range. Malik Brown will go in round 2, most likely. Wasn't really on draft boards to begin. The NBA pre-draft process has really boosted his stock as time's gone on. I expect him to be drafted on day 2 of the NBA draft, but round 1 will take place on Tuesday. First overall pick at 8 p.m. Eastern time. 2 Blue Devils will begin their NBA careers tonight, and 1 more tomorrow, whether he's drafted or not. But as we all know, a lot going on this week in the college basketball world. Dusty May left the University of Michigan just a couple months removed from a national championship. He will take over as the next head coach of the Dallas Mavericks. However, the Mavericks were heavily interested in Jon Scheyer. Jon Scheyer turned the Mavericks down. Shows a lot about where Jon Scheyer's at, his loyalty to this Duke program, how badly he wants to bring a national championship to this Duke program. Obviously, Duke fans everywhere very excited to have Jon Scheyer back. I think this says a lot about kind of where the state of college basketball is headed. Check out Duke on SI for a story I wrote on this, but Dusty May left the college game just because of the chaos of it, the lack of guidelines, the lack of structure, just how difficult it is to really have any consistency with the way the institution is run right now. CBS Sports' Matt Norlander released a piece on a conversation he had with Dusty May about a week after he won the national title. And the way recruiting is nowadays, having to re-recruit a new team every year, dealing with parents, dealing with agents, commitments don't really mean anything. Contracts hardly really mean anything anymore. It just doesn't make any sense. The NCAA is an absolute mess, and it's causing its top coaches to lose the joy for the game and leave the game altogether. Tough loss for the college basketball community, losing Dusty May, such a tremendous coach. His X's and O's are fantastic. Schematically, he's one of the best in the sport. He's a basketball genius. He is going to succeed at the NBA level. I'd be surprised if he didn't. But nonetheless, back to the Duke program. Jon Scheyer is still here. Do I think Jon Scheyer will show interest in NBA jobs in the future, potentially the near future? Absolutely. A lot of these young, kind of analytically driven coaches at the college level, I think a lot of them sort of have that thought in mind to eventually get to the NBA. Shams Charania at ESPN reported that Dusty May was always looking to get to the NBA, whether that be in a year, 2 years from now. Obviously, it just happened. I do expect Jon Scheyer to gauge some NBA interest and it be more relevant report in the future. Who knows if that's a year in the future, 2 years in the future, 10 years in the future, whatever it may be. But I do expect Jon Scheyer to start to think about the NBA a little bit more as time goes on. He's still just 38 years old. But a lot of these younger coaches starting to think about that jump to the NBA. Who knows when that's going to happen? Who knows if that's going to happen? I just expect Jon Scheyer to consider the NBA more as time goes on. But nonetheless, he enters year 5 in Durham with his best chance yet to win a national title. We have talked about this roster all summer. We have talked about this rotation. I think it's the most complete team in the country. I think it's the deepest team in the country, and I think this is easily the best chance that Jon Scheyer has had to win a national championship since he took over in Durham. Again, this is year 5. He's already been to a Final Four. He's been to the Elite Eight twice, won 3 ACC tournament titles, 3 ACC regular season titles. Up next is a national title, and this is his best chance to do it. Duke has the number one ranked high school recruiting class coming in, a couple high profile transfers, returning 3 starters, 4 of its top 6 scorers from a season ago. I really don't see a glaring weakness on this Duke team heading into the year. Obviously, it's hard to project because when you're ranking the best teams in the preseason, you're basically just ranking the best rosters on paper. But I think Duke has the tools to be great in every aspect of the game. I think this is going to be the best defensive team that Jon Scheyer has had and one of his best offensive teams. I think Duke analytically next season can be absolutely fantastic, potentially historic. But with the depth Duke has, Jon Scheyer can legitimately go 10 to 11 deep if he wants to next year, which is a fantastic problem to have. But also, inevitably, some of these top talents coming in will not be getting the minutes that they were hoping for when they originally committed to Duke, whether it be a rookie, a returner, a transfer, whatever it may be. So we projected a few starting fives throughout the offseason, and this one won't change much. I've updated it a little bit, and I highly doubt it will change at all throughout the summer, barring a drastic report. I don't expect it to change throughout the rest of the offseason. This will probably be the one I'll be going with until at least reports come out from summer camp in the fall. We get clarity on potentially who the starters will be. Granted, there really aren't that many position battles. I think the starting five right now is mostly pretty clear what it's going to be. I think there are 2 main position battles that are getting the most buzz. That's at point guard and that's at power forward. I've stayed consistent in who I think the starting point guard will and should be, but I've actually changed my prediction for the starting power forward. But those are really the 2 main battles. I think aside from that, the starting 5 is pretty clear, the other 3 remaining spots. So we're going to get into our new projected starting 5 for the 2026-27 Duke Blue Devils. Again, not much has changed, but some has. At point guard, I've got Caleb Foster, the rising senior. It's really a battle between him and Caden Boozer for who the starting point guard is going to be. 5-star incoming rookie Deron Rippey Jr. will be coming off the bench to begin his Duke career. Caleb Foster and Caden Boozer have fairly similar games. They're great floor generals. They're good passers. Caden Boozer didn't really show an outside shooting stroke last season. Caleb Foster has, but Caden Boozer has that shot. Both can score at the rim. Both can handle. Both are effective and long defenders on the perimeter. But I go with Caleb Foster here. It's really the experience over anything, but I think Caleb Foster has an ability to impact winning in different ways from a game-to-game basis that I think sets him apart. But above all, it's his experience. He's a senior. He's been in the Final Four with Duke. He's been in the Elite Eight with Duke. He's been in so many big games with Duke. And I think with so much talent and so many scoring pieces on this team, I think it needs a point guard that is a true floor general and doesn't necessarily need the ball in his hands all the time to be impactful. Caleb Foster rarely makes mistakes. He's a fantastic passer. He can score at the rim, but again, he doesn't need to score to impact winning. I think he's one of the best rebounding guards in college basketball. As a junior, put together a career high in points at 8.3, rebounds per game at 3.5, assists per game at 2.8, field goal percentage of 44.7, and shot just about 40% from 3 on 3.0 attempts per game. But it just comes down to how I thought he was maybe Duke's best perimeter defender last season. He's a fantastic rebounder. He's a fantastic passer, but he doesn't make mistakes. He will command the floor. He's an experienced veteran. Experienced guards matter, especially as the postseason begins. I think with scorers all over the floor and so many different pieces that can score in so many different ways, a guy like Caleb Foster who can change how he plays from a game-to-game basis to impact winning, I think that is the most valuable piece for Duke, and I think he will be one of the most crucial pieces for the Blue Devils next season. That's why I have him over Caden Boozer. I think Caden Boozer will play 20 to 25 great minutes for Duke a night, but I think Caleb Foster will be a starter. So at the point guard spot, that's one of the main battles. I've got Caleb Foster, again, just because the experience and the fact that he can change his game from game to game to impact winning in different ways. And at 6'5", I thought he was one of Duke's best perimeter defenders. I love how he plays. He's got all the heart in the world. He loves Duke. I don't know if he would have came back if he didn't know he was going to be the starter. The second he came back, I assumed he was going to be the starter. There has been a lot of buzz with Caden Boozer. I'd be pretty surprised if Caden Boozer started on day one over Caleb Foster. But But the point guard battle will be one to monitor. Again, two very similar players in my opinion, but I think Caleb Foster gets the nod at the end of the day. At shooting guard, no debate here. It's John Blackwell. I've talked about him ad nauseum on this show. You guys know how I feel. I think he can be an All-American. I think he can be one of, if not the leading scorer in all of college basketball. I think he can average 23 to 25 points per game with the intense usage he's going to be getting. He's going to have the ball in his hands all the time. He has the keys to this offense. One of the best backcourt pieces, probably the best backcourt piece in college basketball, or in the transfer portal this offseason. Established himself as one of the best scorers in college basketball last season. Average over 19 points, 43% shooting from the field, 38.9% shooting from three on over 7 attempts. He's a career 44% shooter from the field. He's a career 37% shooter from three. Duke doesn't have another proven volume efficient scorer on the roster outside of John Blackwell. When he entered the portal, he wanted to go somewhere we could have the ball in his hands, where he could take a lot of shots. That's exactly what he's going to get with Duke. I expect him to take anywhere from 12 to 15 shots a night. And with this efficiency, I don't see a reason why he can't average at least 20 points per game, probably closer to 25 than 20. He also moves off the ball really well. Duke's three passing bigs, I think, are going to play a big role in the offense. Duke is going to be a really good passing team, I think. But the way he cuts, the way he moves off the ball, options will be available for him at the rim. He also can create from the outside. He can score at all three levels. He's just a true bucket getter. Simply put, really excited about the season he's going to put together. 15 games of 20 or more points last season at Wisconsin, 5 games of 30 or more. Really excited about what he's going to do with the Blue Devils next season. I think he's going to be a top 3 to 5 leading scorer in the country, potentially number 1. Very, very excited about John Blackwell. At small forward, could be a little bit of an open battle, but I've got Dame Sarr. I've had Dame Sarr at the starting 3 for practically the entire offseason. He started at the 3 last year. He's just too good of a defender, in my opinion, to not keep him in the starting lineup. I thought he was maybe Duke's best all-around defender last year at 6'8". It's either him or Malik Brown for sure. But, I mean, Dame Sarr was fairly disappointing on the offensive side of the ball last season and was still a consistent starter because of how elite he is defensively. He can guard multiple positions at 6'8". All the intangibles are there. The versatility is there. The active hands are there. The physicality is there. I think early in his college career, the physicality of the college game really got to him, but I thought he adjusted to that very, very well, very quickly, specifically on the defensive end. What's going to really unlock his ceiling is if he can shoot consistently from the three-point line. If he can shoot, say, 38, 39% on 5-6 attempts per game, I think he could be the best two-way 3-and-D wing in the entire sport. Shot 32.3% on 3.5 attempts last season. Showed flashes of catch and shoot ability from the corners, but he's got to put it together for a consistent season. I think he's going to do that. I think he is one of the biggest X factors on this Duke team, specifically offensively, if he can do that. But it just comes down to his shooting stroke. He shot over 40% from 3 with FC Barcelona across his career, granted on low volume. But a guy I'm really excited about. I think the three-point shot's going to fall. I think he's going to enter lottery discussions in the 2027 NBA draft because of how elite he is defensively. And if he proves he can be a consistent volume catch and shooter, volume shooter all around, I don't see why he can't be in the lottery discussion in a pretty weak 2027 NBA draft. But big fan of Dame Sarr, really excited for what he's going to do. Power forward, this is where I switch things up. I had Cameron Williams all offseason, Duke's highest rated incoming freshman. I've got Joakim Boumtje now. His offensive game has sold me. I know he's only going to be 17, but I just don't see how Jon Scheyer can keep this guy on the floor. Boumtje recently made the final 12-man squad for the Team USA U17 national team. He will be competing with the team at the FIBA U17 Men's World Cup in Istanbul. Across 4 recruiting classes, originally a 36-player group. He made the final squad of 12. He was the lone representative in the 2026 recruiting class. But again, Boumtje, just 17 years old. He can pass at a high level. He can shoot at a high level. He can create from the outside. He's a proven three-point shooter. He can beat any position on the floor off the dribble. He can finish with touch around the rim. He can operate as the passer or the roller in the pick and roll. His offensive game is like a point guard, except he's 7'1" and 230 pounds. It's so advanced. It's so impressive. I just don't see how Jon Scheyer can keep him off the floor for that long. He's too versatile on the offensive side of the ball for him not to start right away, in my opinion. Cameron Williams is a bit of an opposite in a way to Boomche. Williams' defense is way ahead of his offense. Cameron Williams at 6'10", long, lengthy defender, can guard the 1 through 4, really talented rim protector, really talented rebounder. He's shown flashes of an elite outside game, creating his own shot. And again, if he can be a lengthy wing that can score in different parts of the floor, we might be having a different conversation. But I think he's raw offensively. He's got a lot of development to go. I think Boomche is a little bit further along. Granted, Boomche's defense needs a lot of work. His footwork is not quite there. Switching off closeouts, he gets attacked sometimes, but the offense is just too much for me. I just don't see how Jon Scheyer can keep him off the floor. He's just too talented. He's too gifted. He can do too many different things on offense at 7'1" in the backcourt. I just don't. I get he's 17 years old. I just don't see how Jon Scheyer can keep him off the floor. He's got to stay in college for at least 2 seasons because of his age. And if he has 2 years under Jon Scheyer, the best developer in college basketball, in my opinion, he's going to certainly be in the discussion for the number 1 overall pick in the 2028 NBA draft. And then at center, again, no surprise here, I've got Patrick Gungba, projected first-round pick in the 2026 draft. He elects to come back to Duke, established himself as one of the best impact defending bigs in college basketball last season. I thought he was one of the most underrated defenders in the country. Health is the biggest thing with Patrick Gungba. He's missed 15 games across his 2 seasons at Duke. If he stays healthy, he's got a chance to be one of the best two-way centers in college basketball, certainly an all-ACC performer. His willingness to shoot the 3, I thought was very impressive. He doesn't have to make a ton of them, but if he can just take them willingly and stretch that offense even more, I think that will do a ton for this Duke team. But I think his impact will be felt more on the defensive side of the ball. He's only had 1 double-double in his career. I don't think Duke will need him to score at an extremely high clip. He will, because he's gotten so much better at using his body and feet around the basket. But he's such a talented passer, established a passing game as a sophomore. He's an elite rim protector, could be the best rim protector in the ACC. He's only 6'11", but moves his feet really well, can guard multiple positions. He'll be the defensive anchor for this team. I think the big man trio of Drew Charnowski, Gungba, and Boomche is going to be the best defensive frontcourt in college basketball. Super excited about Gungba. We talked about him ad nauseum, about how good he is, how much better he's gotten, but it all comes down to health. Again, he's missed 15 games in 2 seasons. If he can stay healthy, expect an all-ACC season from him. But no surprise there that Gungba is in the starting 5. He'll be a focal point for Duke on both sides of the ball. That's my starting 5 there. Again, not much changed. Point guard, power forward, the 2 position battles to watch right now. Everything else, in my opinion, fairly set in stone until further notice. But that is going to do it for us here today at the Duke Blue Devils Insider Podcast. Just like every day, we thank you so much for tuning into the show today. Make sure to check us out every single day at si.com/college/Duke, as well as wherever you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, wherever that may be. Once again, my name is Hugh Strain, your daily host as well as beat writer at Duke Blue Devils on SI. Best of luck to Cameron Boozer and Isaiah Evans in the NBA draft tonight. By the time you guys watch the show, you will know their destinations, but I will see you guys tomorrow.